Hey, what's up guys, it's Jacob. You know what? I'm not gonna do it like that this time. Hello and welcome to a very scary, spooky Halloween episode of Jacob Talks About Zombies, because zombies is dead and I want my channel to die with it. Today I will be discussing scariness, specifically scariness in zombies, and when it stopped being scary. I'll also discuss some possible ideas that could bring the fear back into zombies, at least for me. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, and if you don't, you'll die in your sleep. Wait, no, okay, if you don't, then, you know, my channel won't get bigger, and I kind of want to get bigger, so please leave a like and share the video on Twitter because it helps out a ton. Thank you, and let's get into the video. Ah yes, Nocturuntoten, the map that started it all. Noct was undoubtedly the most exciting thing that had happened to the Call of Duty franchise at that time. What was once just a World War II FPS had now become a tower defense game placed in the horror category. I won't go on about how zombies began, because I assume you already know, but long story short, it was super rushed and unexpected. While I wasn't personally scared by the map when I first played it, I wouldn't be surprised if someone said they were. The thick fog that surrounds the building mixed with the incredibly claustrophobic area you are given really creates stress and can actually give you chills. On the spooky scary meter, I'm going to give it about a 6. Last week I made a poll where I asked which map was scariest, and as of right now, Verrückt is winning by far. To be honest, I wasn't shocked. Even though Verrückt is one of the least talked about maps, in my opinion, it tends to make a lot of people's top 5 scariest maps, and I guess I can understand why. To start, there's a haunted drill right from the start. When you hold the interact button, you can literally hear a guy screaming at the top of his lungs, and there's almost no explanation for it. There's also a radio in which a soldier reads aloud a poem and finishes off with a rather interesting ending.
Field report, a quiet retort, the mission has all gone south. It's Johnny here, Smokey is near, most likely with meat in his mouth. Been here for ages, I ran out of pages, but now have a mic to record. The mission has failed, McCain must have bailed, and now we must fight off a horde. We came to Farouk with low ammo and luck, and now Smokey's lost his head. We went down the halls, they bit Smokey's balls, and now he walks with the dead. They call me Banana.
I take it you're interested in one of my discount lobotomies.
Though Smokey is dead, I'm holding his head, which right now is eating my brain.
Verrückt is definitely a scary map when it comes to the setting, but there's one flaw with the map that slowly got worse throughout the rest of the series, and it's how powerful you are against the zombies. This was the first map to introduce perks which turns you from a normal soldier to a near superhuman. It's like if, in the middle of Child's Play, the kid just found a gun that shot energy beams that killed Chucky on impact, and that was the end of the movie. I'm in no way hating on perks, and I think they fit very well in zombies, but it really affects how scary the maps are while playing them. Like I said, this small flaw only got worse throughout the rest of the series, but I'll be sure to point them out when we get to them. On the spooky scary meter, I'm gonna have to give this one a 7. Alright, before you comment about how I left out Black Ops 1 entirely, that was on purpose. While the Black Ops 1 campaign was incredible and was definitely scary at some points, mainly due to the fact that as the player you had no idea what was happening for the most part, and had to learn each bit of information along with Mason as you tell the story, the zombies just wasn't scary, as much as it was just difficult. Yeah, I'll admit, I cry when I can't get the shrink gun on Shangri-La, but I just don't get scared when playing any of the maps. Black Ops 2, on the other hand, has Mob of the Dead, which is definitely the scariest map I've played, in my opinion at least. Maybe it's because it was the first map I played seriously, but I was super creeped out by all the satanic references and the setting. That mixed with an angry zombie warden is a great recipe for a legitimately scary map. Oh yeah, there's also a jump scare of a lady when you use the sniper on the rooftop, and it'll freak you out. So yes, there are a ton of scary elements to it, but does it fall under the same flaw that I previously mentioned? Well, that's where it gets a bit debatable. Personally, I think the map does a good job at weakening you down so you don't feel invincible, but other, better players might say otherwise. I think that with how close quarters each map is, you're more on edge, and seeing that there is no quick revive on the map, you can't really rely on a single perk to help you a lot. Jug is cool, but it's not in a great spot of the map. And while no, I don't think it's the scariest a map can get, I do personally think they pulled it off very well. For this one on the spooky scary meter, I'm gonna have to give it a light 9. This is where I really noticed how much scariness matters to the community. Now, I won't be talking about the quality of Zetsubou itself, just because that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say in the video, so don't get mad if you liked Zetsubou. What I will say about this map is it was incredibly overhyped pre-release when it comes to scariness. There's almost nothing scary about this map. Other than the screaming Easter egg and the overly complicated jump scare Easter egg, this map wouldn't even scare a 3-year-old. I'm not sure if it was just that Jason didn't like how Zetsubou turned out gameplay wise, but all I know is that's all he would ever talk about.
It's being serious for a second.
Sorry.
It's probably one of the scariest maps we've done.
Really?
I can't be serious that long.
Okay. Not only is the main theme of the map not scary in any way, unlike Varrock and Mob, it also completely falls under the flaw that affected all of the other maps I've talked about. Right from the beginning, you can grab the incredibly OP RK5, then all you have to do is get a Perkaholic and boom, you've pretty much beat the map. There is no fear. You can just walk around like a superhero destroying everything in your sight with your KT4 that you built on round 5. To be honest, that's my biggest problem I have with Black Ops 3 as a whole. Everything is overpowered. Even the Pharaoh can get you to round 50 plus. I think that if the weapons were weaker, the map may have a chance at being one of the scariest maps, but it barely even achieves the task of making the setting scary, so it's not likely this would even make it in my top 5 anyway. On my spooky scary meter, I'm gonna have to give this one a 3, just because of that screaming Easter egg and the one jump scare Easter egg. Now this is where I really want to focus. World War II, the mystery game. Will it be trash like Exo Zombies or gold like World at War? Will it be better than Treyarch Zombies? Will it be the scariest game of the series? Well, I'm here to answer those questions. Probably not. I say this for the sole reason of surprise. We've seen it all. Zombie dogs, fire monsters, giant spiders, and even a dragon. With all due respect, what's the point of even making zombies if you're not going to do something new? Is it just a new DLC for you guys? A new weapon pack? Some cool new HUD changes? From what I understand, this game will be very similar to what we've already seen. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for gore horror, but I don't think some blood will creep anyone out, unless it gets really nasty. Personally, I don't find gore scary, but I'm sure there are players out there that are terrified of that stuff. After all, that's what zombies really should be. When you watch zombie movies or TV shows like The Walking Dead, that's usually what they rely on. It's either a zombie eating someone else's brains or someone blowing that zombie's brains out. It's a promising decision on Sledgehammer's part, and I'm very happy they're taking this route, but I still don't see World War II seriously scaring anyone that's played any of the old games. This definitely can't happen if the game falls under the same flaw of having weapons and perks too powerful for a game trying to be scary. I have high hopes for the game, and I really do want it to exceed our expectations. Like, believe me, I could go for a good scare nowadays, but I just don't find it very likely. Now don't worry, this isn't negative Jacob back for a return, because I actually brought a few ideas for what Sledgehammer or Treyarch could do in their upcoming maps to make the gameplay more interesting and actually scare the players. So you know how in Raven the Redwoods you start out with nothing but your hands and some sharp and blunt melee weapons sitting around? Imagine that, but on steroids. My idea of scary yet fun introduction to a map is waking up in a dungeon or some sort of dark room with a bloodthirsty beast. either an animal or even a person with super strength, you start off with no weapons, no perks, covered in blood. This would be similar to the mission in Far Cry 3, where you wake up in a camp covered in bodies. Great game, by the way. Then you, along with whomever you're playing with, must escape the dungeon without being detected. If you are detected, you can try to run, but good luck getting any other tools sitting around the room. You must make the decision of being stealthy or stupid. After you escape, you are surrounded by zombies, which you can fight off with the weapons you acquired at the start of the game. This would be round 1. You would then follow the rest of the zombies' formula to get some guns that may help, but be warned, the guns don't do much damage unless you aim for the head. Finally, once you've prepared and collected all the items you need, you would then go back down to the dungeon to fight the beast. While I do admit it sounds a bit outlandish, especially for a Call of Duty game, it would add to the suspense and fear of the map and really make it memorable. Another spooky map idea would be a haunted house, similar to the one in Buried. I don't know about you guys, but I personally think ghosts and possessions are much scarier than any of the zombie or slasher movies. While I do understand the map may not be as big as Origins or Transit, it could be a decent size, especially if it was like a mansion. As some of you may know, I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege recently. Videos coming soon. And one of the best things about the game is how small the maps are. It makes you feel so cramped, and I think that quality can also work with zombies. It would be a really nice change of pace, and honestly, I feel like it'd be a really fun and scary time. At the end of the day, it's completely subjective. While I may not be scared of a glitchy spider, one of you guys may be, and that's okay. While I don't think zombies will ever really scare me like it used to, I do think that there's hope for the series. Just stop making everything so overpowered. Well, that's about it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and have a happy Halloween. Goodbye. I need to just delete my channel.